breaking right now. The St. Tammany Parish president vetoes part of next year's budget that jeopardized a mental health facility.
Parish President Mike Cooper said the $600,000 in cuts could have turned the Safe Haven facility near Mandeville into a blighted property. Cooper also vetoed the portion of the budget which eliminated cost of living raises for parish employees. Cooper is asking the council to begin discussions with his administration on restoring funding and urged them not to override his veto.